My sister's bruises were never from falling down the stairs. My sister was holding her 7-year-old daughter's hand with her good arm when Mark told the nurse she fell down the stairs again. The County General ER was packed that Tuesday night at 9:47 p.m. Sarah's left eye had swollen shut, purple spreading across her cheekbone. She held a makeshift ice pack against it with her left hand, while her right arm hung at a weird angle. Mark stood too close, his hand pressed against her lower back like he was holding her up, or holding her in place. "Third time this year?" The nurse looked up from her computer screen, fingers paused over the keyboard. She glanced between Sarah's injuries and Mark's face. Mark answered before Sarah could open her mouth. "She's always been clumsy. You know how it is." Emily tugged on my sleeve. My niece's voice came out in a whisper only I could hear. "Mommy didn't fall." Sarah's good hand squeezed Emily's fingers so hard the little girl winced. "Kids say silly things," Sarah forced out through split lips, attempting a smile that looked more like a grimace. Emily's got such an imagination. It was June. 85 degrees outside. Sarah wore a long-sleeved shirt, foundation caked thick on her neck. When she shifted in the plastic chair, the makeup smeared, revealing purple-green underneath. The nurse made notes. Mark kept talking, explaining how Sarah missed the last step, how these things happen, how he told her 100 times to turn on the hall light. Sarah stared at the floor. This was the 4th ER visit in 7 months. I remembered January because it was the day before Emily's birthday party. Sarah showed up with a black eye, said she'd walked into a door. We decorated the living room with frozen princess balloons while she held ice against her face. March was hazier, something about slipping in the shower. Sarah called in sick to work for a whole week. When I'd stopped by with soup, Mark wouldn't let me pass the front door. April, she'd needed $300 for car repairs. Except I'd seen her car. Nothing wrong with it. And now tonight, stairs. Except Sarah and Mark lived in a single-story ranch house. No stairs. Not even to the basement because they didn't have one. While Sarah got wheeled back for x-rays, I pretended to check my phone. Actually checked hers, left on the chair. 3 declined card notifications from earlier today. Checking account overdrawn. Credit card maxed. Emily used to stay at my house every weekend. I hadn't seen her in over a month until tonight. Sarah always had excuses. Emily was sick. They had plans. Mark wanted family time. My neighbor had mentioned it last week. Mark's truck is always in their driveway lately. Thought construction was booming. Sarah came back from x-ray, arm in a sling. She wouldn't look at me. "Can we go?" "I'm tired." Mark already had his keys out. "We've got work tomorrow." Sarah hadn't worked in a week. The next morning, Sarah dropped Emily at my house before school. "Had to run errands," she said. Wouldn't say what kind. Emily's backpack spilled open when she set it down. Papers scattered across my kitchen floor. As I helped her gather them, the drawings made me freeze. Crayon pictures. A stick figure man with a red scribbled face. A woman figure with blue tears streaming down. A house covered in black angry marks. And one that made my stomach turn. 2 figures. The bigger one's arm raised, hitting the smaller one. Emily saw me looking. "Those are my secret drawings." "Mommy doesn't know." I kept my voice gentle. "Emily, does Uncle Mark get angry sometimes?" She shut down instantly. "I'm not supposed to talk about home stuff." Then quieter. "Grandma Stevens says if I tell, they'll take me away." I texted Sarah. "We need to talk about Mark." Her response came back fast. "Please don't start." "Not today." When I dropped Emily at school, her teacher pulled me aside. "Is everything okay at home?" "Emily's been having accidents, wetting herself. That's new." After drop-off, I drove straight to Sarah's house. Mark's truck sat in the driveway. 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. Construction season was peak right now. He should have been at a job site. Mark answered the door, beer already in hand. He blocked the doorway with his body. "She's fine. Mind your own business." Sarah appeared behind him. Fresh foundation, thick as paint. A turtleneck in summer heat. "Sarah, please, can we just talk?" Mark's hand found Sarah's shoulder. "Tell her you're fine, babe." Sarah's voice came out flat, mechanical. "I'm fine. Please go." Behind them, I could see into the hallway. A fist-sized hole in the drywall, a picture frame on the floor, glass shattered. Mark stepped forward. "Stop coming around here stirring up trouble." I left, but as Sarah turned away, her sleeve rode up. Purple-black bruises wrapped around both wrists. Fingerprints. I texted her again from my car. "I know what he's doing." Her response, "Stop. You're making it worse." At 2 p.m., the school called. Emily's uncle picked her up, said there was a family emergency. My heart stopped. "What emergency?" He didn't specify. He's on the approved list, so... I called Sarah. Straight to voicemail. I drove to their house, breaking speed limits. Mark's truck was gone. Front door unlocked, house empty. Sarah's purse still on the kitchen counter, wallet inside. That's when I knew Mark had finally snapped and they were in real danger. They showed back up 3 hours later. Mark's truck pulled into their driveway like nothing happened. I watched from my window as Sarah helped Emily out of the back seat. They'd been at Walmart, shopping, like the school secretary hadn't called me panicked about a family emergency. The next morning I walked into the police station. The building looked like it hadn't been updated since 1982. Peeling paint, flickering fluorescent lights. One officer at the front desk, bags under his eyes, scrolling through his phone. "My sister and niece might be in danger." He looked up slowly. "Has she called 911? Filed a complaint?" "No, but then what are we talking about here?" I pulled out my phone, showed him the pictures I'd taken secretly. Sarah's bruised wrists, the black eye from January, the split lip from March. He glanced at them, shrugged. Could be from anything, without her statement saying he did this. Her daughter's teacher is concerned. Emily's been picked up from school by him claiming emergencies that don't exist. Father figures do that all the time. He's not her father. My voice cracked. The real father died. In a car accident 4 years ago. The officer set down his pen. Look, family disputes are complicated. Maybe they went shopping. Maybe there was a miscommunication. There's a pattern. Hospital visits, bruises. The kid is traumatized. We can do a wellness check. Drive by later if they're not back. They're back. That's not the point. Ma'am, without your sister's cooperation, my hands are tied. She needs to file the complaint herself. I left that police station so angry I sat in my car for 20 minutes before I could drive. The system required victim cooperation. Sarah wouldn't give it. 2 hours later, my phone rang at work. My supervisor. Can you come to my office? Mark's mother had called, said I was harassing her son's family, making false accusations, trying to break up a happy home. Please keep personal matters out of the workplace, my supervisor said. This is your first warning. 3 days passed, then Thursday afternoon my phone rang. Unknown number. It's Sarah. I'm at McDonald's on 5th Street. Can you come? Are you okay? Just come, please. The McDonald's was packed with after-school families. I found Sarah in a back booth. Emily was in the play place, climbing through the tunnels. We could see her through the glass, but she couldn't hear us. Sarah looked exhausted. No makeup today. The bruises on her neck had turned yellow-green. It wasn't always bad. She stared at her coffee. After David died, I couldn't function. Couldn't get out of bed. Couldn't take care of Emily. Sarah. Mark helped with the funeral, handled all the arrangements. Emily loved him, called him Uncle Mark. I was drowning, and he threw me a life preserver. When did it change? So gradually I didn't notice. First he suggested I let him handle the money, said I wasn't thinking clearly. Made sense. I was a mess. She pulled out her wallet, showed me the debit card, Mark Stevens written on it. Now all accounts are joint. I have no money of my own, not a dollar. What about David's life insurance? In a joint account. Mark handles it. Sarah, you need to leave. She laughed, no humor in it. I tried. 3 months ago, I saved $400 cash, 20 here, 20 there, hid it in a tampon box. He found it, accused me of cheating, said I was saving up to run off with someone. Her hand went to her ribs. That was the first time he hit me. Said I was being ungrateful after everything he'd done for us. What about Emily? He's never touched her. Sarah's voice broke, but she sees everything, hears everything. Come stay with me tonight, both of you. I can't. Sarah. His mom will call CPS, say I'm unstable, unfit mother. She's already threatened it twice. That's not how CPS works. You don't understand. She volunteers at the church with half the social workers in town. She knows judges. I'll lose Emily like I lost David. Emily knocked on the glass, waved at us. We both waved back, forced smiles. How does he always know where you are? Sarah pulled out her keys, showed me a small black device attached to the keyring. GPS tracker on my car, questions every mile. If I deviate from my normal route, he calls immediately. We can get help. There are resources. With what money? What car? What proof? She stood up. I need to go. He'll be home in an hour. Sarah, please. Thank you for coming. For caring. But you're making it worse. Every time you try to help, he gets angrier. She collected Emily from the play place. I watched them walk to the car. Emily turned back, waved at me through the window. Sarah drove away. I followed at a distance until they turned into their driveway, Mark's truck already there. He stood on the porch, arms crossed, watching her park. I drove home knowing the trap was perfect, and my sister was caught in it. Saturday morning, I drove to Walmart with $89 in my checking account. That was it until payday. The security camera sat on the shelf like a promise. Wireless, motion activated, connects to your phone. I bought it. Sarah texted me that night. Mark's going to his mom's tomorrow, church then lunch, usually gone 3 hours. Sunday, I sat in my car down the street from their house, watching Mark's truck pull out at 9:45 a.m. I waited 5 more minutes, then drove to their house. Sarah met me at the door, Emily clinging to her leg. We need to be quick. The kitchen was the main area, where most of the fights happened according to Emily's drawings. I found a spot behind the cookbook collection on top of the refrigerator. The camera was small enough to blend with the clutter. It sends alerts to my phone when it detects motion, I explained. Records everything. Sarah nodded, didn't say anything. Monday, the first footage came through. Grainy, but clear enough. Mark grabbed Sarah's arm while she was doing dishes, twisted it behind her back. She didn't make a sound. The video had no audio, but I could see her mouth moving, probably apologizing. Tuesday was worse. Mark had Sarah pressed against the counter, shaking her by the shoulders. Her head snapped back and forth. Emily stood in the doorway, watching, just standing there in her pajamas, holding her stuffed rabbit. I saved every video. Evidence. Finally. Wednesday at 2 p.m., the alert stopped coming. Sarah's text came at 2:47. He found it. Then, he knows about camera. Please stop helping. Making it worse. Then, thank you for trying. Thursday morning, I pulled into work to find Mark's mother standing by my car. Dorothy Stevens, 60-something, church dress, holding a sign that said homewrecker. That woman is trying to break up my son's marriage. She yelled it loud enough for everyone in the parking lot to hear. Security came out. Ma'am, this is private property. She's harassing my family, putting cameras in their house, trying to turn my granddaughter against her stepfather. My coworkers watched from the windows. My boss called me in an hour later. Whatever this is, handle it outside work hours. This is your final warning. That was just the beginning. The next Monday, I woke up to my front lawn covered in garbage. Coffee grounds, rotting food, dirty diapers. Had to spend 40 minutes cleaning it up. Was late to work. Another mark on my record. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, I thought maybe it was over. Friday morning, all 4 tires on my car were flat. Not slashed, just the air let out. The tow truck took 2 hours. Missed my morning meeting with regional. My supervisor didn't care about the reason. You've become unreliable. The next week, I woke up to stop, spray painted across my driveway in red paint. 3 feet tall. The whole neighborhood saw it before I could get outside with a pressure washer. Cost me $300. I didn't have to get it professionally removed. I started noticing her on Tuesday. Young woman, maybe 25, thin, jumpy, stood across the street from my house, smoking, watching. Wednesday she was back. Same spot, same nervous energy. Thursday I confronted her, walked straight across the street. Are you Cheryl? She bolted, but dropped her cigarette pack. Marlboro lights with a phone number written on the side in blue pen. I called it from my cell. Mark answered. Stop fucking with my family. Mark, you're the one. He hung up. I drove to the police station, showed them photos of the vandalism, the tire incident report from the tow company, the spray paint. Without proof it's connected, it's just vandalism, the officer said. Same tired-looking one from before. Could be random. Random? It says stop. Stop what? Could mean anything. My file was getting thicker. Incident reports, photos, nothing actionable. Friday, another meeting with HR. Your personal drama is affecting team morale. People are uncomfortable. I'm being harassed. Then handle it. But not here. You're on probation. One more incident and you're suspended without pay. My neighbor caught me that weekend. What did you do to piss someone off? This used to be a quiet street. I couldn't afford to move. Couldn't afford much of anything. But I bought 2 security cameras for my house. $200 on a credit card already near its limit. The cameras caught them the next Tuesday. 3 a.m., Cheryl and 2 men, dumping trash on my lawn again. But the night footage was grainy. Faces unclear. Could see shapes, movement. Not enough for identification. Brought it to the police. Could be anyone. Night vision isn't clear enough for court. I know who it is. Knowing and proving are different things. The harassment was working exactly as intended. Wearing me down, isolating me, making me look crazy, making me poor, making me exhausted. And Sarah was still trapped in that house. That night, I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about Mark, about patterns. Everyone has a past. I opened Facebook, searched Mark Stevens plus our city, found him. His friends list was public. Started scrolling through the women, found her 3 pages deep. Sarah Thompson, profile picture with 2 kids. Last name different now. I messaged her. Hi, I know this is random, but did you date Mark Stevens around 2019? 3 hours before she responded. I can't get involved. I have kids now. I typed back. My sister is in danger, please. The typing dots appeared and disappeared 5 times. Check police reports from 2019. Hospital records too. That was it. She blocked me. I drove to the courthouse next morning. Public records are public. Found it in 20 minutes. Mark Stevens arrested for assault, April 2019. Charges dropped. Victim refused to cooperate. Searched for another ex. Found Monica through a mutual friend of Mark's who'd commented on old photos. Monica Reeves. Her response came faster. He stole thousands, still paying off debt. Would you testify? He knows where my parents live. Dead end after dead end. Legal aid office was in a strip mall between a payday loan place and a vape shop. Waiting room packed. Crying babies, exhausted faces. Took a number. 47. They were on 12. 4 hours later, a lawyer who looked about 25 called me back. Stack of files on her desk reached her chin. I have maybe 200 cases, she said, not looking up from her computer. What's yours? I explained everything. Mark, Sarah, Emily, the bruises, the camera, the harassment. She finally looked at me. Without your sister cooperating, options are limited. There has to be something. We can file for emergency custody of the child. That's $500 in filing fees just to start. I don't have it. Payment plan available, but again, without your sister's testimony. My phone rang. Emily's school. The counselor needs to speak with you, the secretary said. I drove straight there. Mrs. Patterson had a folder on her desk. Emily's drawings spread across it. These are deeply concerning, she said. Each picture worse than the last. Red marks on the mommy figure. The daddy figure always angry. I've been trying to get help. I'm mandated to report this. CPS will open a case. Finally, someone who had to act. The CPS investigator showed up at Sarah's house 2 days later. I know because Sarah called me crying. They interviewed Emily at school. She wouldn't talk, too scared. What did you tell them? What could I say? Mark was standing right there. The case note came 2 weeks later. Copy sent to me as the reporting party. No immediate danger observed. Case closed pending new information. Meanwhile, Mark's mom started her own campaign. Facebook posts every day. Pray for my son Mark. His sister-in-law is trying to destroy his family. Some people can't stand seeing others happy. Jealousy makes people do terrible things. The comments poured in. Church friends, neighbors, people I knew. That woman has always been trouble. Poor Mark. Such a good stepfather. Maybe she wants him for herself. I lost 3 friends that week. Real friends. Or I thought they were. You're causing drama, Ashley said. We'd known each other since college. The whole thing seems messy, added Jennifer. Maybe stay out of it. I can't watch my sister get beaten. Maybe she likes it rough, said Brittany. Some women do. I walked out. Haven't spoken to them since. 2 weeks later, Sarah called me sobbing. Credit card declined at grocery store. Emily was with me. So embarrassing. Come to my house. I'll make dinner. They showed up an hour later. While Sarah helped Emily with homework, I grabbed her purse, needed to understand the finances, found credit card statements folded in the side pocket. 3 cards, all in David's name, all maxed out. David had been dead for 4 years. I spread them on my kitchen counter while Sarah was in the bathroom. Small charges everywhere. Gas stations, grocery stores, ATM withdrawals. Nothing huge. Death by 1,000 cuts. Added it up on my phone. $6,800 over 14 months. Sarah came back, saw the statements. Where did you? He's using David's cards. She sank into a chair. Mark said David would want him to provide for us. Sarah, this is identity theft. He said it's family money. I called Capital One right there, put it on speaker. I need to report fraudulent use of a deceased person's credit card. Are you the primary account holder? No, he's deceased. Is the authorized user the one making charges? There shouldn't be any authorized users. The account holder died 4 years ago. We'd need death certificate, probate documents, power of attorney. Process takes several months. Several months? If everything's in order? Next call. The police? Different officer. Same exhaustion in his voice. If they were living together, it's a domestic matter. Judge would see it as shared finances. The account holder is dead. Civil court then. What about identity theft? That's federal. You'd need proof he used the cards without permission. Signatures, video, something solid. That's when I started my real investigation. Drove to every store on those statements. Most deleted footage after 30 days. But the Chevron on 3rd Street still had footage from 6 weeks ago. Manager made me wait while he found it. There on grainy security footage. Mark at the counter, signing the receipt. David's name. Can I get a copy? Need a subpoena. Back to the legal aid lawyer. Showed her everything. The statements. The death certificate I'd gotten from Sarah. The store that had footage. She sighed. He'll say she gave him permission. That she knew about it. Was benefiting from it. But it's proof. It's something. Not enough for criminal charges. Maybe enough for a restraining order. Maybe. Everything was maybe. Meanwhile, Mark kept using those cards. Sarah kept getting deeper in debt she didn't know existed. Emily kept drawing scary pictures. And the system kept failing all of us. The call came at 11 p.m. My neighbor, Janet. I can hear screaming through the walls. Should I call 911? Yes. Call now. I was already grabbing my keys, racing over. The 15-minute drive took 8. 2 police cruisers pulled up as I parked. Janet stood on her lawn in her bathrobe. They've been at it for an hour. Then I heard something break. The cops knocked. Mark answered, perfectly calm. Everything's fine here, officers. Behind him, Sarah sat on the couch, lips split open. Left eye already swelling shut. Arms wrapped around her ribs like she was holding herself together. Ma'am, are you okay? The female officer stepped forward. Mark cut in. She came at me with a knife. I defended myself. Emily was in the corner, 7 years old in her princess pajamas. She looked at the female officer and said, Mommy didn't have a knife. The officers exchanged looks. We're going to need to separate everyone, the male officer said. They took Mark to the kitchen. The female officer knelt by Emily. Can you tell me what happened? Emily looked at Sarah. Sarah nodded, tears running down her face. He hurt Mommy. He always hurts Mommy. The female officer's face changed. She stood up. Sir, we need you to step outside. This is my house. Step outside now. They arrested both of them. Standard procedure in domestic violence calls when there's conflicting stories. Mark in one car, Sarah in another. I took Emily. She held my hand so tight my fingers went numb, wouldn't let go even when we got to my house. At the station, I gave Emily's statement to the desk sergeant. She saw everything. There was no knife. Sarah was released after 3 hours. Mark's mother showed up with her checkbook and her church friends, posted his $10,000 bail without blinking, told everyone in the waiting room her son was being persecuted. He was out in 18 hours. The only condition, no contact with Sarah or Emily. That night, his truck drove past my house. Once at midnight, again at 1 a.m., again at 2. I called the police. He's violating the no contact order. Is he stopping? Trying to make contact? He's driving by. Street's public property, not technically a violation. I hung up, installed new deadbolts while Sarah watched, added a chain lock, moved my dresser in front of my bedroom window. Emily slept in my bed that night, still in her princess pajamas, hadn't let go of my hand. Sarah took the couch, staring at the ceiling. At 3 a.m., I found Sarah in the kitchen, fully dressed. Where are you going? I have to go back. Sarah, no. You don't understand. He'll kill us if I don't. He said he would. When his mom bailed him out, she told me, he has nothing to lose now. That's exactly why you can't go back. Where else can I go? This is temporary. You know it. I know it. He knows it. We'll figure it out. With what money? What job? I have nothing. I am nothing. You're Emily's mother. That stopped her. She sank back onto the couch. I can't even protect her. You protected her tonight. You let her tell the truth. And look what happened. He's already out. But now there's a record. An arrest. Emily's statement. You really think that matters? I didn't answer. We both knew the truth. Sarah didn't sleep the rest of the night. Neither did I. We sat in my living room, watching the street through the blinds. Every car that passed made us jump. At 6 a.m., Emily woke up screaming. Nightmare. Sarah held her while she sobbed about the bad man coming back. At 7, Mark's mother called Sarah's phone. Sarah put it on speaker. If you don't drop these ridiculous charges, I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of mother you really are. Letting your daughter lie to police. Teaching her to hate the only father figure she has. Sarah hung up. At 8, I called in sick to work. Couldn't leave them alone. At 9, the lawyer from legal aid called. The prosecutor wants to meet. Can you bring Emily? She's 7 years old. She's the only witness. At 10, we sat in the prosecutor's office. Emily on Sarah's lap, clutching her stuffed rabbit. Without the knife, it's he said, she said, the prosecutor explained, even with Emily's statement. What about the history, the hospital visits? Without documentation saying he caused them, so he just gets away with it? I can offer a plea deal, anger management classes, probation. Sarah laughed, not a happy sound, anger management. It's better than nothing. But we all knew it wasn't better. It was just another failure, another crack for us to fall through. That night, Mark's truck drove by again, 4 times. I installed a camera on my front door, added Sarah and Emily to my car insurance, started looking for a new place to live because I knew this wasn't over. It was just beginning. The prosecutor's office smelled like old coffee and defeat. 3 weeks after Mark's arrest, we sat across from a tired-looking woman with too many files on her desk. With his mother's lawyer, he'll plead down, she said, not even looking up from her computer. Plead down from what? I asked. Assault and battery becomes misdemeanor assault, 10 months jail time. Sarah's voice cracked. That's it? What about the identity theft? I pushed David's credit card statements across the desk. $6,800. Dropped for lack of evidence. I have evidence. Security footage of him signing David's name. His lawyer will argue your sister gave permission. She benefited from the purchases. What about child endangerment? Not enough proof? Sarah started crying. Emily, sitting on her lap, patted her face with small hands. Maybe I should drop charges, Sarah whispered. That's when Emily spoke up. Quiet, matter of fact. He hit me too. Once, when I spilled juice. Everything stopped. The prosecutor looked at Emily. When was this, sweetie? Last month. He said it was an accident. This changed things. Felony territory. But Emily would have to testify. 7 years old, on a witness stand, with Mark staring at her. Sarah's whole body shook. I can't put her through that. Without her testimony, no. So the deal stood. 10 months. He'd serve 5 with good behavior. The court date came 2 weeks later. Mark's mother sat in the front row, glaring at us the entire time. Her church friends filled 3 rows behind her. Our side had me, Sarah, Emily, and the victim advocate who'd met us once. Sarah was supposed to read her victim impact statement. When they called her name, she froze. I stood up. I'll read it. My voice shook as I read about the bruises, the fear, the stealing from a dead man, the little girl who drew pictures of violence because that's all she knew. The judge barely looked up. Mr. Stevens, consider this a second chance. Don't waste it. Mark smirked. Reality hit hard in the hallway. 5 months. He'd be out by Christmas. The legal aid lawyer handed us the bill. $2,800. We don't have it, I said. Payment plan. $200 a month for 2 years. $200 a month we didn't have. Sarah lost her job the next week. Too many absences for court dates. Her manager seemed relieved to have an excuse. File for unemployment, I told her. The denial came fast. Voluntarily quit by not showing up. But I had to be in court. Should have arranged coverage. The foreclosure notice arrived the same day. 3 months behind on house payments. Mark had been pocketing the money Sarah gave him for mortgage. Then Mark's mother filed for grandparent rights. More lawyers, more fees. Pack what you need, I told Sarah. You're moving in. My 2-bedroom apartment wasn't meant for 3 people. Emily slept on the couch. Sarah and I shared my room, her on an air mattress that deflated every night. 1 bathroom, someone always waiting. My paycheck covered rent, utilities, food for 3, gas, car insurance. Nothing left, credit cards maxing out, minimum payments only. I ruined your life too, Sarah said one night, staring at the ceiling from her deflating mattress. I wanted to say she was wrong. But my credit score had dropped 100 points. My savings were gone. My promotion at work was off the table because I'd missed too many days. What choice did I have? I finally said. Emily's struggles got worse. Bedwetting every night, waking up screaming, following me to the bathroom, terrified to be alone. Her teacher called weekly, grades dropping, can't focus, disrupting class. She needs therapy, the school counselor said. How much? With your insurance, $40 a session. Another $40 we didn't have. Food stamps finally came through, $400 a month. Felt like winning the lottery until I realized that's $13 a day for 3 people. Cheryl, Mark's girlfriend, kept driving by, leaving notes under my windshield. Homewrecker. He's coming for you. You destroyed a family. Called the police. File a restraining order. How much? $500 filing fee. Everything cost money we didn't have. Sarah broke down in the cereal aisle at Walmart. Emily wanted Lucky Charms, $4. We had 20 for the week. I can't even buy her cereal, Sarah sobbed while other shoppers stared. I bought the Lucky Charms with my last $5. Emily ate them dry in the car because we couldn't afford milk. My boss called me in. Your personal situation is affecting your performance. I'm handling it. Are you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like chaos. She wasn't wrong. I was drowning. We all were. That night, we sat in my living room eating ramen. The TV didn't work because I'd canceled cable. Emily drew pictures while Sarah stared at nothing. 5 months, Sarah said. He'll be out in 5 months. We'll figure it out. With what? We have nothing. We are nothing. Emily looked up from her drawing. Another picture of a sad family. At least we're together, she said. Sarah started crying again. I wanted to cry too, but someone had to stay strong, even if it was a lie. 3 months into Mark's sentence, I found the letter hidden under Sarah's pillow while changing sheets. Sarah, I've changed. Got therapy in here. Found God. I know I hurt you and Emily. I'm getting help. Please don't give up on me. Love, Mark. Sarah walked in, saw me holding it. How long? 2 weeks. You're writing him back? She looked at the floor. Maybe he has changed. I couldn't even respond, just walked out. The next day at work, my phone showed a collect call notification from county jail. Sarah had accepted it while I was in a meeting. That night, she confessed. He sounds different. Sorry, really sorry. They always sound sorry from jail. You don't understand, he cried. Mark never cries. 2 weeks later, I came home early with a migraine. Sarah's car was gone. Emily's backpack too. They got back at 4 p.m. Emily ran straight to her drawings. Sarah couldn't look at me. You took her to see him. She deserves to see him. Are you fucking kidding me? The court said no contact. He's still her father figure. He beat you. He hit her. Once. He hit her once. And he's sorry. Sarah, he has money hidden from construction jobs. Cash. He'll give it to us when he gets out. We need it. I stared at her. You believe that? $8,000 hidden at his mother's house for Emily's future. There's no money. You don't know him like I do. She started planning for his release, circled dates on the calendar, December 15th, made lists of apartments they could afford with his hidden money. I called everyone. The lawyer, the therapist from the women's shelter, the victim advocate. Finally got Sarah to one therapy session. The therapist explained trauma bonding, how abusers create psychological dependence, how the brain gets addicted to the cycle of abuse and apology. Sarah listened, nodded, seemed to understand. Then Mark called that night and she answered. The damage was done. Mark's lawyer filed a motion. The alleged victim has been visiting my client. Clearly, she's not afraid. This was a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. The prosecutor called me. This really hurts the case. December 15th. Mark walked out at 7 a.m. Good behavior. Time served. The restraining order got extended, but Mark knew the game now. He'd park 501 feet away from our apartment. Technically legal. He'd shop at the Walmart where Sarah bought groceries. Different aisles. Legal. By January, he had a new girlfriend. Saw them at the gas station. Young, maybe 22. Same nervous energy Cheryl had. Sarah got a job at Target, minimum wage, but it was something. Started saving $20 a week. Progress. But the trust between us was broken. We lived in the same apartment but barely talked. Polite strangers sharing bills. Emily asked questions I couldn't answer. Why didn't Daddy protect us from heaven? I don't know, baby. Is he watching? Maybe. Then why did he let Uncle Mark hurt Mommy? Some questions have no good answers. The financial damage was permanent. $47,000 in total debt between us. Credit cards maxed, medical bills, legal fees, the mortgage on Sarah's foreclosed house still haunting her credit. Looked into bankruptcy. Lawyer wanted $1,500 up front. With what money? I laughed. Mark discovered where Sarah worked. Started shopping at her Target during her shifts. Never approached her. Just there. Walking past electronics while she worked register. The manager understood but couldn't ban him. He's a customer. Not causing trouble. Small victories happened. Emily slept through most nights now. Only wet the bed twice a week instead of daily. Drew pictures with some color instead of all black. Sarah met someone at work. Tom. Stalker in the back. Nice guy. Brought her coffee on breaks. Asked her out 3 times before she said yes. Came home shaking after their first date. I can't do this. What if he's like Mark? Not everyone is Mark. How do you know? Mark wasn't Mark at first. She didn't go on a second date. My company offered me a promotion. Regional manager. 30% raise. Required relocating to Dallas. Turned it down. Couldn't leave them. My boss didn't understand. This opportunity won't come again. She was right. The fear became permanent. Check locks twice before bed, jump at car door slamming, keep baseball bat by the door, sleep light enough to hear footsteps. Tonight we're sitting on my couch, watching a cooking show on my laptop because cable's still canceled. Emily's between us, coloring. Sarah's folding laundry. I'm paying bills on my phone, moving money between accounts to cover minimums. Nobody's talking, just existing in the same space, surviving. During a commercial, Emily looks up. Are we safe now? Sarah and I look at each other. The truth sits between us. Mark's out, living with his mother, working construction again, has a new girlfriend. Will probably hurt her too. He stole 2 years of our lives and $50,000 will never recover. Justice gave us 5 months of breathing room. We're together, I finally answer. That's what matters. Emily goes back to coloring. Sarah goes back to folding. I go back to juggling bills. This is our life now. Not winning, not losing, just continuing. Sometimes that's all you get.